guys, thanks so much for coming in this Friday night. Hey replay viewers, thanks for watching. And hello YouTube viewers, thanks for joining in as well. YouTube viewers, you can watch live and participate on the chat in Periscope. Just search for Penguin and Fish. I'm here at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, most every single day. Alright guys, thanks for coming in. I'm going to few around. Hey guys! I am back in town. I just got back from New York, so I am here, back again, recovering. I didn't come on last night because I was just so tired, and I'm in my post-vacation kind of recovery. But I had so much fun, and I'll tell you guys all about it tonight. And we're going to be sewing block 42 of the Splendid Sampler as well. Yes, I went to a few fabric shops. It was fun. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you are here for the first time. I'm going to flip you guys around and show you my fabrics, and we will get going. Oh, you're not going to craft, you threw out your back. Oh, gosh, just get some rest. Drink a lot of water. Oh, man, no fun. That's not cool. At least the weekend's here, so you can relax over the weekend. So, all right, guys, if you're new here, my name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm the author of Sew and Stitch Embroidery and a fabric designer as well, and I'm here every night at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. So, all right, guys, we are going to paper piece again tonight. I got my new add an eighth ruler, so we'll give that a go. I had this add a quarter, and now I have the add an eighth. Look how I got the 6-inch one of this, so we'll give that a try. You can do paper piecing without it, but we're gonna play around with this add an eighth and see if we like it better than the add a quarter. So, all right, yeah, maybe skip sewing and tell about the trip. You know what? It might mostly be that. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna flip you around and we'll get going tonight. So yeah, so I'll just show you guys this quick. So I might just be putzing around tonight. Maybe we'll just start this kind of tomorrow because I want to show you guys what I got. Oh, I got this cute ring. See, I'm gonna just show you all the fun things that I bought. This cute ring from Chelsea Market. It was my birthday when I was over there, so I had some birthday money that I gotta use and stuff too. So I got a cute ring and. Okay, we're gonna just have show and tell. So I went to ABC Home and I got this just wacky little bird. It has no purpose whatsoever. I'm calling it a pocket bird. So John, after I bought it, John had it in his pocket for the rest of the day and with his little head peeking out. And I just thought it'd be kind of neat. It's neat from the sense of it'd be fun to do like little toys for little kids that they can just grab, like they could just hold like their little stuffed little mini animal toy. So I thought it was kind of cute for that. So I got that. Oh, and we had the best celebrity sighting at ABC Home. It was a like A-list celebrity sighting. We saw so this was in their cute little kid area on the 3rd floor, I think. So just a small little area where they sold kid stuff. And we saw Katie Holmes and Surrey was shopping there when we were there. So that was our good A-list sighting when we were there. You gotta have a sighting when you're in New York. So that was a pretty dang good one. But yeah, so he's my cute little bird. But yeah, that was cool. I had a John's our kind of face person. He can recognize everyone, so I had to be like, "Hey, John, is that?" And he just looked right away and knew exactly that it was her. So, and Surrey shopping too. They were looking at all the little kid stuff, and it was pretty cute. So that was awesome. Let's see what else. All right, you guys, I'm gonna start this, and I'll chat at the same time too. So I'm going to, I have, here are my pencils. This one is like 3 cute little pencils together. I thought I'd do a red one, a yellow one, and a blue one. And then I'm gonna have this white be kind of the bottom of the pencil, and this little, I don't know, the wood part of the pencil. And then the background is going to be the kitties here again. So I'm going to just start by coloring in our pieces here, just so I can remember what goes where. And I can chit-chat while we do that. How about that? But it was so much fun. We walked so much. You know, I was telling you I got this new watch that has an activity tracker. Like here I've only done 2,000 steps for today because I did nothing today but laundry. But we were putting on 20,000 steps when we were there, which is about 10 miles almost every day. So that was pretty dang intense. We were pretty tired by the last day. All right, let's see. I'm going to start out with the blue side. So I'm just going to color in just these. So this will be the light. This will be the medium one, the medium color one, and this one with the double, we'll call that the dark. So I'm just coloring these in. It'll help me once we have all these pieces, like when this is cut apart. Well, actually, we're not cutting this apart, but it'll just help me know once we're rotating these and all that, what color goes where. With this pencil, the pencil's pretty easy to see, so I probably don't need to do this as much as other paper piecing, but we're going to do it here anyway. So as far as, this is going to be my background color. As far as quilt shops, we went to pencil point color. Oh yeah, this is going to be the pencil point color too. I think I'm going to just grab one of these same fabrics. But for fabric shops, we didn't really go to many. We went to, I tried to keep this as vacation as much as I could and not completely work related. So we didn't go to like a ton of places, like we didn't go to like a ton of trim places or anything like that. But we did go to City Quilts, so that was cute. That was more like your typical, I'm going to do the same thing here with light, medium, and dark. So this will be light, and then medium, and then dark. So they were cute. That was more like your typical fabric store. However, they did have New York fabrics, which were pretty cute. I didn't actually end up buying anything from there. That was still early, and we were kind of in the I'm not going to buy so much stuff stage. Although now I think some New York fabric would have been pretty cute. But I'm in the using up all the things mode when it comes to fabric, so I felt okay with not getting some. Maybe I'll get some next time we go there, maybe. But the other place we went to was Pearl Soho, and actually sell some KonMari. That's using up what I got from the life-changing magic of tidying up book. So I ended up buying a bunch of stuff though. So we went to Pearl Soho, and I did end up buying like a lot there actually. So I got they carry my embroidery kits, so that was fun to see those in person and talk to them about them, and I even talked to them a little bit about future products and what they'd kind of like to see there. So that actually turned into a little bit of a work thing, but man, that is a beautiful, beautiful store. Everything is perfectly color coordinated. Oh, you know what? We did not go to Mood. I didn't even think of that. That would have been smart. We did see, I don't know if you saw my Periscope while I was there, we did actually see them filming Project Runway. So that was pretty dang awesome. Here, let me see. I think I have my phone here. I have a picture from there. Let's see if I can find it quickly. But that was super duper fun. Oh yeah, so like here's them. they're shooting. So they're like, there must be like 9 people left at this point because there was 9 outfits, and so like a team event. So they had the blue team and this tan, and let's see, I think there was so they had them in windows of the you guys, we're not in focus there. There we go. They had them in windows at I don't know, some shop in Soho. And let's see, the red. There was also a red one. Oh yeah. So here's the red one. So they had they were filming. Oops, I gotta focus up here, not on that phone. So I don't know. So we were doing our judging and stuff too, and it was kind of funny. So they had these fake people. I guess they weren't fake people, but they had, that were supposed to be pedestrians who were looking in, but all those people had to actually sign releases that said that it was okay for them to be pedestrians and walk through and then do their little mini interviews on which one did you like the best. So it looks like a New York street, just people walking by, but those people were actually, I mean, they were just people off the street, but they were pulled off the street, had to sign a bunch of stuff, and then we're told, okay, now you walk through and look like you're, walking by and stuff. So anyway, it was pretty fun. We stood there for a long time and kind of watched. All right, guys, I got these all drawn in, so I'm gonna cut them out now. The white is just gonna be this white with the purple dot, and I think we got everything here now. But yeah, so that was really fun, and that was my birthday too. So that was a fun little birthday treat to see Project Runaway shooting. All right, so I'm gonna only cut out these main shapes. So this is our A group, our B group, and our C group. So luckily we don't have tons of tiny little pieces, so this should be pretty easy. I know I'm using colored pencils for the colored pencils. Gotta do that, right? But yeah, so that was a fun treat. And let's see. Man, we walked everywhere. God, we were just so tired. On the plane ride home, I slept the entire plane ride home, and then I slept on the couch when we got home, and then we went to bed at like 9 p.m., which is way earlier than usual, and I slept like 12 hours, and I'm still tired today. So, oh God, every meal was so good. I mean, man, we picked them well or something this time around. Or it's just the fact that there's so many good places that you just walk in anywhere. I mean, especially if you're in kind of the West and East Village, or let's see, yeah, like those sort of places. Yeah, the West Village. We ate a lot there. Yeah, the West and East Village. We used to live in the East Village, so we knew a few places there. I don't think we actually went to any of those. It was just interesting to see how the areas changed since we lived there, which was over 10 years ago. But the food was excellent. We ate at the Spotted Pig, which was delicious. I had like an amazing burger there. Attached to our hotel, there was a really good restaurant. Oh gosh, you know what? I don't know. I don't even remember what it was called, but it had the same chef as the Spotted Pig, so we had some amazing stuff there. We had like the best carrot cake we've ever had there. We almost went back another night just to have the carrot cake, but we were so full from other things. We went to, oh gosh, is it called My Wife Frida or Jack's Wife Frida? Is that what it's called? Jack's Wife Frida, I think maybe. That was delicious. We just happened upon that. I had heard of it before, but I didn't realize it till we got in and I saw the logo, because I recognized the logo, and that was amazing. The place that we had reservations for before we left was Blue Hill, and oh God, that was ridiculously amazing too. Like, you just want to cry at these places because they're just so good. But the Blue Hill place was in that, I don't know if you guys watch Chef's Table on Netflix, but it was in the season 1, episode 2 of Chef's Table, and it's all like farm to table stuff. Like they have the Blue Hill Farm in New York, and then they just pick whatever's ripe that day, like, and then bring it to the restaurant and cook that evening. So it was all just fresh from the farm, you know. And when we were there, we were seeing them bring in the produce for tomorrow's food and stuff, because we had really late reservations at like 10 p.m. So we were seeing them bring in the next stuff, and it was just awesome. That was delicious. And man, the drinks at the places were amazing. And even when we just went out for lunch, just walking around and like, oh, let's try this place. Even those places where you just happen upon are just the most amazing food. Like if you stick them in any other city, they would be the best restaurant of, you know, Minneapolis or whatever. It would get voted best each time, but they're everywhere there. So that was, I mean, a treat. And we vacationed for the food, honestly, a lot of the time. So that was for sure an amazing, very much probably the best part is just eating all the amazing food. All right, let's get going on this a little bit. All right, B1, B2, B3, we are going to start with B1 here, and we are going to just cut a piece that's as big as this B1 shape plus a generous seam allowance, so more seam allowance than we need, like almost like a 1/2 inch seam allowance, just so we got it all. So I'm going to do light, medium, dark, so I'm kind of, I don't know, maybe this is light, medium, dark. I think we're probably fine like this. This might be more light, medium, dark. Let's do it that way. So light, medium, dark. So this will be our B1. But we walked the High Line, and man, there were just so many people everywhere. Though I mean, it was clearly very touristy when we were there, which is fine. But wow, it was a lot of people everywhere. When we were there last, which was a long time ago, the High Line was still being built. So it wasn't as much people, or it wasn't as big as it was this time around. And man, it was just packed with people. We went there with a couple, like a book and our drawing stuff, and we were going to just hang out and draw for the day. But it was just so packed, and that was the first day that it was just super duper sunny out, and we were just dying from the heat and everything. So we just kind of walked it and then bailed. But we after that we rode the city bike, which is you know, those bikes that are just on the road that you can rent. We have them here in Minneapolis too. They're called Nice Rides here. But we did that. I'm gonna just press this. It's a little wrinkly. Yeah, the blobs. We are for sure doing the blobs. I mean, we could. This does have very nice strips. We could cut very pretty nice strips for this, but I don't know. The fun part for me with paper piecing is the blob making. So I am still keeping with the blobs. So I cut this piece here. For the first piece, like B1, why am I starting with the B's? I should be starting with the A's. It doesn't really matter. These are all B's. I mean, you'd start with the letter A. But we are just sewing all these pieces separately and then assembling them, so it doesn't really matter. I just grabbed the blue because I have the blue as my far left one, so I just grabbed that. But typically you'd start with the A's and then go like A1, A2, A3, but you know, I started with the B. So I'm going to just put a dab of glue on this first one just to hold it in place. You can use a pin too, that works perfectly fine. I'm using just like a water-soluble, just little glue stick. I mean, you can use Elmer's glue stick or whatever. This is just what I kind of had on hand. So I'm just putting a tiny little bit right in the middle there to hold it in place. And with the right side is going to face outward. So we're going to put basically the wrong sides together here. And I'm going to center this B1 shape within here. That looks pretty good. I don't, well, the perforation of the lines, that comes from the sewing. So once I sew along these lines, that's going to perforate the lines. I know I'm kind of skipping around a lot on this tonight. I do explain in some of the earlier blocks, if you go to my YouTube channel, I kind of dig into this process a little bit more. And you know what? I just remember I need my postcard. Hold on a sec. All right. So without all the chit chat about New York, so I might be not as I'll be more in depth in some of the other videos. Yeah, jet lag, that too. So that might be helpful. Although you should be able to pick it up a little bit from this video here. Otherwise, check out some of the earlier blocks that I've done for the first videos of some of the earlier blocks for the paper piecing. I get into it a little bit more. I'll get into it here too. It's just going to be a little flaky tonight. But all right, if you perforate it first, you find it easier. I think the trick for it for me, what makes it easy for me versus when I used to, like a way that I used to do paper piecing, is this postcard technique. And that's really done the best for me. The perforation, I don't know, I haven't really had that much of a problem with, I don't think. I could try perforating it sometime first. I don't know, I'm not sure I need that extra step here. But let's, I'll show you this postcard way. So for the first one, I glue it down. So this B1, again, I could pin it to, that's just to kind of hold it in place. After the first one, the sewing is gonna hold everything in place. Oh, the paper piecing a long time, but the postcard has really improved it. Oh, that's good to hear. When I learned this technique, I'm like, oh man, this is way easier. So what I used to do is I used to fold every single line first, but this kind of takes care of that in a way easier way. So after I have it glued down, I am going to fold in between B1 and B2. So in between B1 and B2 is this line here. So I'm going to put my postcard right along that line. So you can just use a postcard or like a little, it's just like a thick card. You could use those little cards that come in magazines and stuff too. I like a nice good postcard. So I'm going to fold, I'm going to use this as my straight edge, and I'm going to just fold it up. I'm going to leave the fabric down here. I'm going to fold it up along the postcard, and I'm actually going to fold it the entire length. I'm going to not worry about that line doesn't go this entire length. I'm going to fold the paper along that entire length. All right, so I folded it along there all the way up. So I'm going to leave that postcard there, and then I'm going to grab my add a quarter, oh, I'm using an add an eighth this time. So this has a lip. It's a ruler that has a little lip on like that. So once this is folded, it makes like a little stair step. I can just push the lip right against the postcard, and it's easy peasy. Now, I wouldn't need to use an add a quarter or an add an eighth ruler. This one's adding just an eighth inch on, so there's less bulk. I haven't used this yet. I just got this. What you could do instead is take a ruler and mark, or you can just see, like if I'm cutting a quarter inch, I can actually measure. If I put along my fold, if I put that quarter inch mark or an eighth inch mark, whatever I want to do along that, I can use this, but it's so much easier to just grab this, not think about measuring it all, plop it on, and know immediately that it's the right bit. So I thought it was completely unnecessary when I had heard about it. I heard about it through the Splendid Sampler, just like chatting with you guys here, and I'm like, oh God, do I really need a ruler that just does that? But I'm telling you, it has really saved a bunch of time and energy. It actually just takes a level of thought away. I don't have to measure. I don't have to think about measuring. I don't have to worry about numbers or making sure anything's right. All I have to do is plop that lip on, and I know it's good to go. And that's what I love about paper piecing. I eliminate all the thinking parts of it. It makes it mindless, exactly, and that's the best part. It's like magic happens, and you don't have to use your brain. I love it. All right, so I'm going to just trim this. This is what gives us our perfect seam allowances, this postcard part. All right, now I'm gonna flip it back. You know, we didn't see a show. We talked about it, but then we just ended up eating at Yummy Places instead, really. There wasn't anyone that was like jumping out at us as that we had to see. Like we hadn't done our research beforehand and like, oh my god, we have to see this or that video so much, you know. Or not video, Broadway show. So we didn't actually go to a Broadway show. We've done that before there, so we didn't feel like we were really missing anything. We did walk to Times Square just to have done that, but we didn't watch a show. Oh, after we did the Highline though, some other things that we did do that we hadn't done before. We went to Ground Zero. We went to the One World Trade Center and the memorial there, and we did that on the 4th of July. And man, it was packed, which makes sense. But that was really something. We hadn't seen that ever before, and wow, that was just crazy. They had little flags and everyone's name, and you know, it says every single, you know, fire departments and the ladder number, whatever, you know, all that, and then divide it. Like they really, really called out people, and you know, they even said things like, you know, so and so and her unborn child or whatever. I mean, like it was really kind of overwhelming a little bit, or not a little bit, like a lot bit. All right, so I'm just cutting my next piece here. Again, it's got to be as big as this and a good seam allowance around it. We have enough seam allowance here. I would normally cut more, but we have just this nice little piece here that I want to use up. So I'm going to just trim it right here. So this is my light fabric. But yeah, that was something else. And then we walked back up through Soho and everything from there to our hotel again, and got a lot of walking in. But yeah, that was great. And then we went to the fireworks that evening. All right, so I just cut this with like a decent straight edge here. So I'm going to line that straight edge. Actually, no, I cut it with a scissors. So why don't I just trim the straight edge a little bit better? I'm going to just use my little ruler here. I just want a nice, I'm going to flip it around. I just want a nice edge. The straight edge to match up. Off to the park, happy crafting. Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, happy crafting to you. Have a nice time at the park. All right, there we go. That's a little bit straighter of an edge. All right, so I'm going to, with right sides together, I'm going to line up that edge with my straight edge that I cut from folding the paper. And so you can test this. I'll show you how to test it once. I don't really need to test it for this because I'm pretty sure that it's big enough. I have this nice edge going on, but I'll just show you how you can test it, especially when you get into these these triangles. Sometimes it gets a little more difficult. And again, on some of my earlier blocks that we've done paper piecing, I kind of get into this a little bit more. I'm kind of brushing over things today. So I'm going to pretend that I'm sewing along this B1, B2 line. And I'm going to pretend doing that by just putting a couple pins along the line as if I've sewn it. So then I'm going to flip this up as if I've pressed it. And then we just have to make sure that we have covered this entire piece plus the seam allowances with that fabric after we've pretend sewn it. And it looks like we've got plenty all the way around. So I know that I've placed this in the right spot. Like if I place it too far high or too far low, this little test will show if we've made it. So again, it's got to be as big as, it's got to cover our entire piece plus the generous seam allowance, or at least a seam allowance once we're this far. So all right, we are ready to go there. So I'm going to just take these pins out. I'm going to just hold it there instead. And we can sew. Where are the patterns again? Oh, All these patterns are at thesplendidsampler.com. This is part of a quilt-along. It's a year-long quilt-along that's free. It's free right now until it's done. So we're only on block 42. Well, only. I mean, I guess that's a ways in. But we're on block 42 of 100 blocks, and they've been designed by, I think, 88 designers. And so each one is fun and different, and it's just like a really great project. All right, I'm going to get my little leader out of the way. It's just going to be in the way of the paper here. So we don't need that for the paper piecing. Okay, what's really great about paper piecing is that all we have to do is sew along the line, and we'll be good to go. So here I have that straight edge together, and now I'm just going to flip it around. And I am going to sew in between B1 and B2. Since we've glued B1 on, and now we're working with B2. So we're working with those two pieces. The line in between those is this line right here. So that's all I'm going to sew. I'm going to start right on the edge, and I'm going to back tack, and then I'm going to stop right on the edge and back tack. I'm not going to go into these other numbers that come up like B5 and B4. We're not going to go into those. I'm going to just go right on the line. And the other thing is I did reduce my stitch length, so it's much shorter than usual. And that will make more perforations in the paper, which will make it easier to tear off later. And that's the main reason for that. All right, so I'm just back tacking it a little. And then we're just going down that line, directly on the line. All right, so there we go. All right, and I am going to trim off these little fabric bits, or the thread bits right away. So my husband also saw, I didn't see either of these people, but he saw from the new Star Trek movies, the young Captain Kirk from the new Star Trek movies, he saw him at, I don't know his name, but he saw him at our hotel, and then he also saw the guy, I don't know, oh yeah, him. So he also saw, who's the guy? He's in like one of these Law and Order shows, like Law and Order or NCIS or one of those, and he was one of the dancers in Magic Mike. I don't know, do you know who I'm talking about? The one who was in Magic Mike that's also on one of those TV shows. He saw him at our restaurant come in and out. But I missed both of those ones. But I still saw the Katie Holmes in Surrey, and I thought that was pretty dang good. All right, so I'm going to press this now. When I do paper piecing, I press with the printing side down, so I don't transfer this to my iron, which would not be fun. So, all right, I'm going to just give it a little press to kind of set the thread, and I'm pretty sure my iron turned itself off, sitting there. Will you be doing a review of block 1? Oh, yes. So I wasn't here for block 41. So I will be doing block 41 at some point. It'll be on when we have time, like a makeup day or something, then I'll do block 41. But I'm not skipping it. There will be videos of it eventually. I'll just have to be fitting it in though. But yeah, I will for sure be doing it. All right, so I'm just finger pressing this open just to get it going, and then I'm going to press it in place. And then this is B1 and B2 together. I've been working on balls in the air paper piecing. Oh, this one was so much easier. Yes, so if you're comparing this to balls in the air, which, what was that, like number 40, I think, or 39 or something? That is an intense paper piecing, and that is why I got the add an eighth ruler. So there's so many teeny tiny parts of that balls in the air that I thought I'd try the add an eighth just to reduce some of that bulk. I only have one segment of that done. I have 3 more to go. So I'll be coming back to that. Oh, we flipped. Oh, dang. So I will be coming back to the balls in the air and using the add an eighth for the rest of it. So, all right, here we got B1 and B2 all ready to go. So we don't need to glue that anymore because we're attached there, and really we don't need this glued anymore. I'm just gonna pull it up. There we go. We're attached to the paper now, so I don't need to glue. All right, let's move on. We'll do a few more here, and all the other days will be pretty speedy. Oh, you know what? I think I'm gonna have more show and tell. So I went to Pearl Soho, and I gotta show you what I got from there. So I got this kit to make this little sheep pillow. I think it's on their blog, but I got all like the yarn. So they only had the gray version, so they didn't have any more white yarn. So I got some extra. I got some black and then this gray, light gray, and then this pink. So I'm gonna do black to this dark gray to the light gray to pink and do like an ombre sheep. So this is my new little craft project that I'm gonna start. Maybe I'll just start doing that on Periscope or Twitch or something too. But I had to share. I'm super excited for that. And then I got like needles and stuff for it. But okay, I gotta show you guys this too. So there's a bookstore off of Bryant Park called Kinokuniya Bookstore. So here's the place, Kinokuniya, and they have all Japanese books, and they have the best Japanese craft books ever. So I got actually I'm not sure this is original. Well, yeah, I think this is. So I got this embroidery book. Like, look at some of the super pretty embroideries in here. Just the prettiest. So I got this book because, I have to get an embroidery book. Look at those. They're cute. Just the cute imagery. It's all in Japanese. But yeah. But then, okay. I went there and I'm like, I'm not going to buy anything. I don't need any more books. But then I saw this book and I'm like, oh my god, I have to buy it. Look at this. It is all pom-poms. Like, it's how to make all these little pom-pom guys. Look at that pom-pom hat with all the pins on. So, oh my god, I am like freaking obsessed with this book. Look at them all. So I do not know how to do this at all, but this is a craft book, so I'm gonna learn. But aren't they? So here's like they're showing you actually how to do it. But like to get different colors, you have to wind different areas of your yarn over and over, and then by putting yarn in these spots, it'll put the yarn in the right spots when you actually do the thing. But oh my god, look at that bunny. They're just so cute. Look at the birds. I love all these guys. Look at how cute they are. Oh, she's got one in her hair. Anyway, so I found this book and oh my gosh, look at them all in the back. So, had to get that, and that started the book buying. So I got that one and the other embroidery book. But yeah, so I had to share that guy with you. I know, those birds, just the best. All right, we're going to get one more of these done tonight. Maybe we'll try and get a little bit more than one. I think that's it for the show and tell. I think those are all my crafty things, but I was pretty excited about that knitting project. I haven't done a knitting project in a while, and that little bird, or not little bird, that little sheepy is going to be fun to do. All right, this is a big yard of fabrics, so it's just too much, but we'll cut off a piece here. So again, it's got to be as big as our piece here plus the seam allowance, so we'll snip it about right here. This will probably be a little bit bigger than I need. And about right there. Yeah, so we'll just go right up there. All right, done with this fabric for now. All right, so I am going to, oh wait, you guys know what? I skipped the postcard part. Sometimes I end up cutting this before the postcard part, but we'll do the postcard. I do postcard, fabric, sew, iron, postcard, fabric, sew, iron, and then it's just like that process over and over again. So here's the postcard. We are doing it in between B3 is our next one now. So B3 and then everything that's kind of before it. So in this case, it's B2. So B3 and B2. Again, we're going to put it right along that line in between those spaces. There we go. And we're going to fold this up along that line. And we're going to just fold it the entire way of the line here as well. All right, and then let's get our add an eighth, plop that on, and trim that. So this is, again, our perfect 1/8" seam allowance. And you wouldn't need to use an 1/8" seam allowance. This is a pretty, this is a larger paper piecing than others, so you can use the add a quarter. I'm just giving that add an eighth a test. All right, so I want a straight edge on here. So let's just get a good straight edge. Ooh, I don't have my little rubber bottoms on this, so I slipped a little bit there, but we should be fine still. Okay. So that straight edge with wrong side. So this is the wrong side, even though it looks, this is the right side. So right sides together. And I'm not going to test it this time. I know that this piece is big enough. And it's easy because it's square. So now I'm going to sew along the line here. So I'm going to start there and end here. And I'm going to try not to go in either of these. So let's scooch over first here. Back to the machine. All right. Flip that around. Alright, back tacking it there. Alright, and stitching along that line. And back tacking. Alright, now let's snip the little threads off right away. Yeah, this is a nice paper piecing on the easy side, especially, yeah, compared to that balls in the air one that we've had. Haha, right there. Oh, cool here in Minneapolis. Yeah, I heard here in Minneapolis we had some big storms on Tuesday. Luckily, and people lost a lot of power. Luckily, when we got home, all our clocks were right, so we didn't lose any power, which is good because I had some stuff in the freezer that I didn't want to thaw, so that was great. It was so hot out. I mean, it was high 80s the entire time, and I think the day we left it was mid 90s. So I'm glad we kind of left that day. I think we're gonna keep going on this for a little longer. So it was warm. I know there was on the 6th we couldn't do hardly anything. Like, we were so tired by that point that we were like walking in slow motion, and we sat at a restaurant and just like loitered at the bar there for a while, and then we just like relaxed there for like way longer, but it was nice. They were okay about it. All right, so we're doing B4 now. I'm doing my little fold. But then after that, so my husband got an espresso on the way out, so he was like buzzing and hopping all over the place, and I was literally thinking, I gotta put this foot down and this foot down and just keep moving. Like, I was so hot and tired at that point. And then we sat down for a little and stuff. But man, it was tough for that little bit of time there. But yeah, it was really, really toasty. Did you bring any hand sewing projects? I did. So I did bring an embroidery project. I'll have to show you guys that tomorrow. So it was that little kitty. I barely got any of it done though. I got a little bit of the head done. The plane ride actually wasn't that long, so I sat and drank my coffee for the first half of the flight, and then I did my embroidery for the second half of the flight, and then it was over with already. So I didn't actually stitch a bunch. And then on the way home, I just slept the entire time, just about, so I didn't do any then either. All right, I got this kind of little chunk here. I'm going to just use this. This seems big enough. But yeah, so I did do a little handwork. And that's what I had in my bag the whole time, because we were planning on just, sitting somewhere and working on our crafts and drawing. And we just didn't do that. We had all that stuff with us, and we were going to do it on the High Line, and we were going to just do it some other time, but we were just so tired. I'm going to press this quick because it's got a few wrinkles. That when we just did have a moment, all we did was sit and talk, which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's good. We're sitting and talking, but oh man, it was just tiring. We wanted to do some more of that stuff, but we just didn't. All right, I'm gonna just get a better straight edge here. So yeah, I definitely didn't get as much done on that as I wanted to, but at the same time, it was vacation, and it was okay to take it as vacation. All right, so I'm putting right sides together here. Back to the sewing machine. And again, guys, I am kind of whipping through this pretty quick. Maybe tomorrow, since I won't be as chatty about New York and stuff. Tomorrow, I can go through the details of this a bit more. So this time I'm actually going to go into the seam allowance. So we have this built-in seam allowance on this pattern. I'm going to actually start my stitching in the seam allowance, not right on the line. We only started on the line when it was going to go into more pieces of the design, but when it's just going in the seam allowance, I am going to stitch most of that seam allowance. Oh, I'm getting a little off my line here. Oh well. All right, back tacking. All right, we'll do our snipping. And then, we would just walk into whatever cute stores that would pop up. And, I mean, to me, that's the fun of New York, is just seeing things that you weren't expecting to see. And I don't know, that was always fun. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I'm kind of talking about it like this entire time, so I'm glad you're liking it. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, we hadn't been there for years and years and years, and we were just kind of, the whole entire time was just us remembering how much we liked it there and everything, so I don't know. We're hoping to start going there more often. Oh wow, I have a little nicking here, so I'm glad that we covered the seam allowance with it. But yeah, so who knows, maybe we'll be going back a little more often. We'll have to put all our yes, people watching, it's the best. We'll have to put all our like flight tracking things on, so that when cheap flights come up and stuff, we'll just have to nab them. All right, before B5. So let's do this one. This is where we're starting to get into some of these funny shapes, so that'll be kind of fun. We got some time yet. We might actually finish this one if I quit yapping and cruise along here. So let's try and actually do that. Let's finish one of these. So all right, we did B4. B5 is next. So B5 and everything else that's done already. all the numbers before B5. That's what we're folding the line on. But yeah, people watching is always the best. My husband took a ton of people watching video and people watching. Oh my God. There was this woman, when we went to the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, there was this woman walking her dog. So she was in all white, and she had like silver hair. She was a little, like this older woman with silver hair, and she was dressed all in white, but she had like these fluorescent pink tennis shoes on. But then she was walking two fluffy white dogs, and the two dogs had tiny little fluorescent orange booties on. So it was just so fun and ridiculous. But so the lady all in white with her white dogs, and they all three of them, the dogs and her, had these fluorescent tennis shoes on. It was just hilarious. Yep, only in New York for sure. It was the best. It was so funny. All right, let's get another piece of this out. This is, again, another large chunk of fabric that I'm working with. All right, so for this, oh, you know what? It's stained up here. This is where I stained it. I'm going to just toss this. So this is where I stained it on the starch a while ago. You can kind of, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm going to just, I don't want to be using that, so I'm going to just throw that away. I don't want to accidentally get that big stain in here, so let's cut from somewhere else. Okay. So for this piece, I'm still, okay, I like putting it face down when I do this. So there's a couple ways we could do this. I could, oh, you need to visit. It's totally, it's my favorite city for sure. So we could try cutting a shape, an angled shape like this. That's just like a bigger, you know, a ½ inch or so seam allowance bigger. Or we can do our blob where we just cut, you know, we just cut a rectangle. That's this shape, and then trim off the edges later. I'm gonna just see what we got going on here. I have a good seam allowance here. I want it to go all the way to the top plus a good seam allowance, so it looks like we have that. And you know, here's our blob. We'll just have the blob. I'm gonna just full on blob this thing. So we're gonna come down here, and we're gonna just make sure that it has enough seam allowance down here too. So like that. Here's our blob. Trim that out a little bit. Now, this probably would be easier if I would have just done a little rectangle, but oh well. We'll do it like this, and we'll do our little test to see if it works. So I got a decent enough straight edge there. I'm not going to worry about the straight edge. So here's where we want to do our test, though, and it looks like I'm pretty close. Yeah, I am really close. This probably was a stupid idea, because I want this seam allowance to be there. So we're right on the edge of the seam allowance, so that was kind of silly. I should have cut it. I should have at least cut this little bit out of there, but we'll try and risk it. We'll see what happens. So if I flip this around and do our test. So let's do our pretend sewing. How do you feel about the 1/8 inch seam allowance? Any concern about the threads close to the seam? I'm not concerned about the threads close to the seam. I have, as I'm using it though, I mean, I suppose that might be a little bit of a worry, but you know, I think all the seams are pretty protected while we're sewing it onto here, and then as long as I'm not, you know, being rough with the seams later, like before I'm quilting, then I don't think it'll be that big of a problem. The only thing that's been a little weird is that I gotta make sure that I'm putting these on exact so that I don't let it slip, and then I don't have that, I like lose my seam allowance. Like if this accidentally, I get sewn down like this or something. If I do that on the 1/4 inch, I mean, I have a little bit of leeway. So I have been noticing that I don't have the leeway that I had. But, and you know, and again, on this pencil thing, it's completely not necessary to do this 1/8 of an inch thing. The other ones, the 1/4 inch would be just fine. All right, so I did my fake sewing and my fake ironing here. Oh, thanks, Cora. And I just want to make sure that I have my seam allowance. So here, really the seam allowance should go to the edge here, and it does barely. And then as we angle up, I mean, we're perfectly fine over here. And I think we're fine here because this, it angles up here, which isn't good, but that's going to be cut off. So I only need it to go to there, and we're perfectly fine. So I'm going to just leave it here. We got a little lucky, but it was good to test that one. Usually I do my blobs a bit bigger, so I'm pretty much guaranteed that it fits. So this one, I just kind of was a little more ruthless with my cutting, I suppose. All right, see again, matching up those edges, and we will sew this. So this again, since our line is going into the seam allowance, I'm going to stitch into the seam allowance as I do this. All right, and I'll just back tack it there. So let's trim that. And I only have 4 more pieces after this, so maybe, I mean, it is getting kind of late already, but maybe I'll just try and get through them here quick. We'll definitely go faster tomorrow. I know I've been kind of wasting time here tonight. But yeah, so tomorrow when I work on this, I'll talk a little bit more about what I'm doing, so I'm not just jumping around everywhere. Have you ever tried vellum? I haven't tried vellum. I'm actually pretty new to paper piecing, so I haven't tried all of the things, but I don't know. Oh, you think it'd be helpful with the extra seam allowance? Just to be stitching on vellum instead of paper? I guess I'm not quite sure. All right, so let's do, okay, we did B5, B6 is next. So let's do our fold. Now it's between B6 and whatever came before, so it's this line here. Unflipped, boo, all right. There we go, let's see if that got us back. All right, so we gotta pick one of our blues for this. I didn't really designate the lead color. Well, let's do this first. I think maybe for the other pencils, I'll use the add a quarter. Yes, they sell vellum paper piecing sheets. Oh, interesting. I'll have to look into that. I'm kind of trying out the new gadgets. Oh, wash away foundation paper. Oh, see, that could be fun too. That it just washes away instead of having to tear it off. I mean, the tearing off isn't always the funnest thing to do. I think I'm gonna, all right, what color? I think I'm gonna do the most solid color, so I'll use this for the lead. All right, we flipped again. I'm excited for my other 2 pencils. I think that'll be fun. All right, so let's see. Oops, sorry, I hit the thing. So this is I'll use this for the blue. All right, let's get to a little cut edge. Here, this looks big enough. I got this kind of cut edge here. Let's give it a test. It has to be as big as this shape plus a good seam allowance around. And that looks plenty good. Let's cut this blob off. There we go. There we go. All right, let's, this looks like a pretty good edge. Let's use that as our straight edge. So I need to place it this time to make sure that it's gonna cover this. Like if I placed it over here, you know, then I wouldn't be covering it because this goes all the way over here. So I have to make sure, in this case I can just center it and it's gonna, since that triangle is centered, I know it's gonna be just fine. So it goes from here to here. yeah, we for sure have our seam allowance in there, so we don't have to worry. But yeah, if you're unsure if it's going to cover it, especially when it's triangles start to get confusing with the angles. That's when you want to do your fake sewing test with the pins. I find that super duper helpful, and I do actually adjust things based on that. Like I'll move a piece of fabric this way or that way, or find out that I didn't cut it big enough, and that too. So, all right, I'm gonna sew right at the start and finish of that line. Oops, I got my thread. Got sucked up into the machine a little. All right. Oops. Let's get my little scissors back. All right, let's trim these right away. Yeah, my husband got a bunch of other people too. People watching, just like that lady with the dogs. There was this one person, this was at the Met too, but she had this big old selfie stick, and she was taking selfie after selfie after selfie by the Met just to get like the perfect selfie, and it was just ridiculous. And getting her hair flipped the right way and all this stuff. So that was kind of funny too. And I don't know, he just got all sorts of people watching stuff, which is so funny because that's not what I take photos of at all. And he takes all those funny photos like that. I just snagged my my watch on my thread on my sewing machine, so I gotta line my thread up quick here. All right, there we go. Okay, let's get these last three pieces done and get this first pencil finished. All right, B7 is next, so let's do that seam allowance fold. Oh, we flipped. Dang it, we're flipping a lot tonight. There, hopefully that does it. All right, here's the B7 line. So this is really the first funny fold that we've had that hasn't been horizontal or vertical in this piece. But it's the same deal. We're just gonna fold along there. Oh, we got a little seam allowance in there. Okay. We're gonna do the add an eighth again. All right, our perfect seam allowance. All right. Now our kitty fabric. Ooh, this has lots of potential for blobs, it looks like. So this one, maybe I'll try and cut some angles out of it. So when I'm not cutting a square, the easiest way to do this would just be to cut a square. Oh wait, you know what? The way I usually do this is I cut a rectangle, but the part that I'm going to fold it on, like this part, I pretend that is the horizontal of the rectangle. So I'll make a rectangle with it coming out like this. So I'll align this with an edge of the fabric. So I'll do it this way for this first one. So I'm going to line this with kind of this top edge plus a seam allowance. So like that. And then I'm going to cut a rectangle that is big enough to include that seam allowance. So we'll just do kind of a blob rectangle. We'll make it go to here. So kind of this whole little chunk here. All right, so this is that straight edge that we were using as that side of the rectangle. So that's the edge that we want to line up here with right sides together again. Let's see. Oh, see, so right here, so I I just instinctively kind of centered it in there, but that's not what we want. We need it to cover this little area here, so we need to get it down all the way into this white area. So I needed it to be right here. So let's do our little sewing flip test just to double check this. So, all right, I need a pin. Ooh, come on, pin. It's getting stuck in my cutting board. And we'll do one more. All right, that's right. Yeah, I would think that these are fun to design, and they're really cool. Like, look, we're starting to get that bit here. So, all right, now I'm already noticing something. We have a little nick in our fabric here, so that might cause us trouble. So let's see what this covers. So at the top, we have plenty of seam allowance. Like, we can err on a whole lot less. But down here, since we have that little nick, I think we might be okay, but I'm a little nervous, so I'm gonna move it down. I'm gonna get that nick all the way down to this seam allowance here, and then I'm gonna just call it good. So there, we're gonna go about right there, and I had plenty at the top, so I think we're still gonna be plenty good. So let's give that a try. Oops. There we go. I think you guys can see. But yeah, that was a good thing that we tested that one though, because I did have that nick in the fabric. All right. I think I'm missing. Yeah, my top thread here. Slid last time. Okay. We are still matched up here. I'm going to go into the seam allowance again, just a little. Stop right there. All right, we'll trim this, and man, it's getting kind of late. I'm tempted to just finish this up tomorrow. I think maybe we'll, well, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe we can make it through these other two bits yet. And we have to trim it and everything yet too. But it'd probably be good to finish it, so let's just try to steam through it. I know, it's getting late. I know, I wasn't intending for this to be this long tonight, but I got yammering again. And now I just have the itch to get this guy done. So we got 2 more pieces yet, I think. Let's just try and crank through them. Alright, we can start to see our little pencil here, though. We just have that little piece over here now. So, okay. Back to the folding. This is B8 now. B8 and B9, then we are done. Alright, let's get the underneath. So look at all this mess that we get to cut off. That's the fun part of paper piecing too. You can be blobby and have a huge mess, and you still get perfect seam allowances. I know 2 pencils to go after this, that's for sure. But I think those 2 pencils will go a lot faster than some of these other blocks have been going. So, all right, let's get more of our kitty fabric here. Let's see, maybe this time I will try to, well, I'm going to actually cut a big blob because I don't want to measure it as much as I did before. So let's go down here. Oh, you did yours today. Oh, I hope it went well. So I'm gonna cut a blob like this. I think we should be good there. Let me get my good straight edge. It's kind of fun picking out the fabrics for all the little pencils. I enjoy doing that. Quick and easy, yeah. All right, we should be plenty good here. I don't think I'm going to measure it this time. I cut a big enough blob in this case. All right, let's do it. B8. I don't know, I'm kind of excited to do that red and yellow pencil. Especially the yellow one, since that's like actual pencil color. Yep, this is gonna be the one where we can see the pencil lead. It's so helpful to have these drawn on here beforehand. It gets rid of that extra little thing of thinking too, and with that lead and everything too. All right, let's trim this side. All right, this is gonna be the reveal. I'm not gonna peek, I'm just gonna press. All right, let's finger press it. There it is, it's so cute. Little pencil lid. This is a cute block, I do have to say. Cute little pencils. All right, one more piece and we'll trim it up quick. Oh my gosh, pencils, so fun. All right, flip it around. The last piece, B9. B9 and everything before it, we fold along that line. Oops. There we go. All right, look at all that seam allowance that we get rid of this time. Oh, yay, you're gonna work on yours tomorrow. That's fun. I think for my other ones, I am going to use the add a quarter. I don't need to be using the add an eighth on this. Oop, I got my little, oh, didn't cut that little piece. That seems weird. Oh well, that can stay there. Oh, you fussy cut a kitty. Or I should fussy cut a kitty. Yeah, maybe I should in this one. Well, we do have other ones coming up too. So, oh, here we go. If we go at the bottom here, I can probably get one out. How about this little guy here? So, again, I need my piece big enough for that. Ooh, I don't have enough seam allowance for him. How about this guy? Well, let's go on this side. I could probably go up higher. Let's fussy cut this guy. This guy's too low. I'm gonna cut him off in my seam allowance. So let's do him. So how about right there? I think we'll get him in. So I'm gonna just kind of go around the edge here. I probably should be giving myself a little more seam allowance, but oh well. We'll give it here. Okay, I'm probably not doing this the best way to fussy cut, but oh well. We're gonna give it a try. This one I suppose we could test though to see that we got the fussy cutting right. Yeah, like I trimmed it so close, that was kind of silly again. I don't usually like doing that, and I just kind of messed it up. I should have given myself plenty of seam allowance around the sides, and I didn't. So it's going to cause me a little trouble here, but I think ultimately it'll be okay. Yeah, because we're right on the edge. But when I fold it up, it does cover everything, so that's good. Just barely. So, and then the seam allowance here. So yeah, so we'll get that little kitty in. I think we're good. Let's sew it right how it is here. I'm actually going to even leave the pins in to get it so it doesn't move. I can tell I'm getting sleepy. I'm making mistakes that I shouldn't be, like cutting that piece too small and stuff. But luckily this is the last one. Alright, a little back tacking. Alright, let's fold that piece up. I press it up, and this will be our last little piece. Then we can trim it down right away too. Then we'll really get to see what it looks like. Then we'll call it a night. Alright, let's press. This was definitely cutting it too close, but I think we'll be fine. Oh, you know what? It said brown hearts. They're chocolate hearts. They're the yummy hearts. Alright! Here is our little blue pencil. Oh my god, these pencils are really cute. Yep, and this one will have that little kitty in too, just barely. Like I cut it, you can see the little edge of the paper barely there. I definitely cut this a bit small, but I think we'll be fine. So let's trim it quick. Let's see if I got a ruler over here. Oh, I could probably get a slightly bigger ruler than this, but yeah, you know what? I'm gonna. There we go. So I'm gonna trim all the way around. I'm going to put my ruler. I'm going to use the square or the rectangle of the actual piece here. I'm not going to put my edge right on the seam allowance. This will be more accurate. So I'm doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm going to put my 1/4 inch mark on that outline. All right, there's the one. So it'll look super cute once we get this little cut out. Then all our excess will be gone. Yeah, oh yeah, this would totally be a cute rocket ship. You just put a little, like a little circle that some aliens can look out of, or astronauts look out of, and for a little window, and put a little, put some smoke coming out of the bottom. All right, last cut here. All right, let's see what it looks like. Oh, see, there's our first little pencil. Oh, it's so cute. So it'll look, there's our yellow pencil and our red pencil too. So there we are. We got the start going. He's cute. I like him. So it'll actually be a little skinnier once we sew it to the other pieces and once we get our final seam allowance. But there we go. Paper piece, the first little pencil here. Yeah, this could easily be a rocket ship, I'm thinking. That'd be really cute. You could put a little like USA embroidered in here. That'd be really fun. So, alright guys, there we go. I'm gonna flip you around and we'll call it a night. There. Thanks so much again for coming in, guys, and listening to all my New York stuff. It was such a good trip. I'm happy to be back, but man, it's the best city. I love it there. I'll probably have more to talk about it tomorrow. So anyway, guys, this will be going up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies on YouTube, and the replay will be there for sure. And it's so nice being back, and it's so nice chatting with you guys again. So thanks again for being here. I will see you tomorrow. We'll make more pencils. Have a good night.